Amazon just launched its first batch of Kuiper satellites that will give the DoD resiliency and diversity in commercial low Earth orbit communications. We talked about the state of SATCOM with Amazon Kuiper Government Solutions President, Ricky Freeman. Space Force talks about three priorities: denying operational surprise, conducting responsible counter space operations, and preventing first mover advantage. The first two are fairly self-explanatory. Tell us about first mover advantage and the importance of that.
Yeah, so General Saltzman's commentary focuses on the construct that, very much like the quote from Mike Tyson, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yes.
The construct that we're dealing with is what happens if we are punched in the face. We, as defense contractors and government partners, are responsible for building technologies that allow us to take that first punch. And this is really what General Saltzman is getting after, and still be able to stay in the fight. It's called the gradual degradation of capabilities. Our tasker in this regard is to ensure that we are building systems that are so resilient, that are so redundant, that are so attritable, maneuverable, flexible, and all these other adjectives that the enemy will take a look and assess those capabilities and decide not to engage in the first place. Mm-hmm. The idea there is we have to build capabilities as partners with the government that ensure, if we have to take that punch, if we have to take that first punch, are we resilient enough to continue to fight, or to give the warfighters the opportunity to fight? So this is what we spend a good deal of our time doing. How well established are our systems? How resilient are our systems? How well are we positioning our systems to be able to enter that very unique space, that warfighter space? Because we have adversaries today in a near-peer fight could actually cause harm to our assets. And it is in our interest to make sure that we're providing the warfighters with the best capabilities to ensure that if we have to go there, and we don't want to, but if we have to go there, we've given the warfighters the capabilities to strike back.
So let's talk about those capabilities and assets in space. So how do we reserve that first mover advantage for our space assets?
Yeah. So many of the assets that we are building are focused in on some of those critical factors, some of those critical domain factors. For example, resiliency. Without going into specific detail of the many capabilities that we are bringing to the fight, it focuses in on, will our technologies provide the warfighter the capability to be interoperable with other assets in the event that those assets are compromised? Do you have backup? Do you have additional capabilities? Our focus at Kuiper and our constellation is, how resilient are we? Where are we bringing capabilities, for example, that allow us to interoperate with the broader domain? There are major defense contractors, non-traditional defense contractors, our strategic partners. How are we integrating our capabilities to ensure that there is variability, maneuverability, and flexibility to the warfighter? So if one system is compromised in one way or the other, there is a backup, there is another system. We are trying to create what I call asymmetry. Unconventionality, hidden in plain sight. For example, we will build thousands, of satellites around the world. What's the point? The ability to rapidly reconstitute. At maximum production capability, we will be building dozens of these satellites a week, hundreds a month in many cases. What does that mean? The ability to rapidly reconstitute. This is what General Saltzman is talking about, the ability to degrade gradually and to be able to rapidly reconstitute our capabilities if they are compromised in one way or another. How fast can we get these assets back up? How fast can we get these assets back in the fight? From a cyber standpoint, how resilient are we? How well are we securing this technology? Our encryption protocols, our ability to take a cyber punch, as it were, and still be able to remain operational. So in the construct of resiliency, we are focusing a lot of our resources and efforts there. In the construct of redundancy, What kind of capabilities are we bringing to the table in our redundant capabilities? Some of those include some of our products that we're bringing. Are those products resilient enough and redundant enough that if one system goes down in one aspect, do they have, again, the ability to back up and engage in another asset? Interoperability remains critical. How well are we, as a non-traditional contractor, working with the traditional, the OEMs of the world? We are working with them to make sure that we can collaborate, that we can integrate, that we are bringing technologies that ensure that we are building the world-class capabilities that the warfighter is going to need. Now, collaboration, I think, is ultimately the most important here because no one is going to be able to do it alone. Amazon is a component of the broader infrastructure. Many of the traditional defense contractors that we are working with are designed to focus on that reality, that there are threats out there, and our task is to figure out how do we address those threats. And I say we, my staff has said oftentimes that we have all of these great capabilities, but we have to make sure that we're collaborating, that we're working together with these capabilities, or we risk having the best capabilities, but we still have threats that we can't overcome because we're not working and collaborating. Silos have to come down. We have to develop open systems architecture to work together, and many of those technologies that we're working on are designed to build that open systems architecture. Amazon is a networking organization. How do we bring all of those assets together so that when they are working as an entity, as a single entity, they're able to bring that resiliency, redundancy, and interoperability that is necessary for the long term?
Really good points there, Rick. Appreciate your time today.
Good, thank you.
So we've heard about how Amazon Kuiper is working to deliver data to the edge at speed. Thanks for watching.